Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. WWE TLC is less than 2 weeks away now. Check out NoDQ.com for the very latest news and rumors regarding TLC. With that being said, let's get right down to your questions via spring.me/AaronRift. First one today comes from Rick Santana, first time asker. What did you think of this week's Raw and WWE's overall creative direction heading into TLC? I like these questions because I feel that they tie in nicely together. Let's start off with Raw. I thought that overall it was a decent show, average at best. I thought a lot of segments were boring and forgettable, but I did enjoy the main event segment, the contract signing between John Cena and Randy Orton, even though we've had, 5 or 6 different contract signing segments this year. I mean, it's been ridiculous, but for this match, it makes sense to have a contract signing. A match of this magnitude, the unification match, tables, ladders, and chairs. I like the idea of having a contract signing for this match. But it just goes to show you that WWE is not thinking long-term. And I think it really shows the lack of creative direction and long-term planning. Because if they had planned this out well in advance, they wouldn't have done a contract signing segment for the Hell in a Cell match. They would have saved it for this match. So, I mean, it just goes to show that they're going week by week, and when they can't really come up with something, they have a contract signing or they do the beat the clock segment. They just throw out something when they don't really have any other idea of what to do to build up a match. So, that's an issue. And another issue is that WWE's in a lame duck period right now. You still have football going on, and they're going to be running on a treadmill for the next several weeks. Once the Royal Rumble comes up, WWE has to start planning out WrestleMania. They can't go back on it. Once you make the matches for WrestleMania, you have to go with it. And at that point, you see a solid creative direction, and generally the television shows are a lot better. So it's just a waiting out process. WWE's like this every year. And hopefully the Royal Rumble, things will start to pick up, and WWE will get back on track. It's just unfortunate that WWE can't have a solid product year-round. But, you can only ask for so much, I guess. All right, this one comes from Shiggy Diggy Bang. Are they really giving Titus O'Neil a puking gimmick? I guess it's better than Natalia's farting gimmick, but it's kind of juvenile. For the kids, I guess. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what they're doing with him, and it's better than him not having anything to do, I guess. At least they have some sort of storyline for him, even if it's something ridiculous like puking. Kind of reminds me of draws well over a decade ago, and Vince McMahon yelling, "He's gonna puke." Maybe they could have Vince come out or even do a backstage segment with him and Titus O'Neil. I would actually find that to be mildly entertaining. So, I mean, whatever. For a lower card gimmick that they're doing, I have no problem with it. I mean, I was forwarding through most of that match anyway. So, they're going to do what they're going to do, and at least they got something for the guy to give him a role on television, similar to the Bad News Barrett thing. And I wasn't really a big fan of those segments either, but, at least they're doing something with him and he's getting TV time. So more power to him, more power to Titus O'Neil that they're at least able to go out there and do something on TV. All right, this one comes from Showstopper526. Hey, Aaron, so is it safe to say that El Matador's gimmick is dead and a fail, considering they're stuck on the WWE shop plug now? Pretty much a failure from the beginning. Well, there's only so many times you can have the Matadors against 3MB. And beyond that, there's not a whole lot you can do with this tag team. It's essentially a novelty gimmick. It's all about the little bull in the costume running out and flipping around and doing all that crazy stuff. And it's another gimmick like the puking. It's something designed for the kids, and it's something designed to get these guys, Primo and Epico, television time. So you got to fill out your lower and mid card, and give them whatever wacky gimmick you can. So maybe the kids at least will be entertained by it. But yeah, it's pretty much run its course already, and I wasn't expecting the El Matadors gimmick to last all that long. It definitely had a short shelf life, but I think they'll keep it around at least another 6 months, maybe even longer. They'll just be around. They won't have much of a presence, but they'll be there as a lower card tag team. And I don't see them getting a heavy push for several months or anything like that. I think that's pretty much the end of their big push. They had the big elaborate entrances, and now they're doing the WWE shot plugs. All right, this one comes from Jeroen Inc. What is your personal opinion on heel commentary? I noticed that I enjoy a match more when there's no heel commentary. I love heel commentary when you have a good heel commentator. I mean, Bobby Heenan was tremendous, and that 1992 Royal Rumble would not have been as great as it was without Bobby Heenan there. And Jesse Ventura, back in his heyday with Gorilla Monsoon, he really added a lot with the commentary and just made it more fun. I mean, the commentary is supposed to help put over the match, and it's good when you have one guy who's supporting the babyface and one guy who's supporting the heel. I think it's a good dynamic. But yeah, when you don't have a good heel commentator, it can really drag the entire announcing down. So yeah, it's important to have somebody good in there, and as long as the heel commentator is focused on the storyline and not trying to get himself over, it's usually very effective in my opinion. All right, this one comes from everyone's favorite, Kayfabe Candy Ass. Gotta ask, who did Alberto Del Rio piss off? Goes from world champion and facing John Cena at 2 straight pay-per-views to suddenly taking a job to Sin Cara of all people. Is Del Rio getting pushed back, or is WWE giving Sin Cara another shot, or both perhaps? It could be a combination of both. I was definitely surprised. When I was reading the Raw results before I watched the show and I saw that Del Rio was facing Sin Cara, I thought, oh great, Del Rio just makes short work of Sin Cara again. But then, to my surprise, Sin Cara beat him. It does look like WWE is going to have Hunico play the role of Sin Cara now for good. He had played the role previously when Mystico was hurt, and there's the talk now that once Mystico's contract expires, they're just going to let him go. And I seem to think that's the case because Hunico has that very distinctive tattoo now, and if Mystico comes back, he's not going to have that tattoo, and everyone's going to know that it's a different guy. Although I think it's quite a bit obvious by the height, but I don't think a lot of kids would recognize any difference besides a tattoo. So it could be that they've just decided to have Hunico as the permanent Sin Cara now and give him a renewed push. And Del Rio, he's in a bad spot right now. And I talked about this before. Without Ricardo, I think it's going to be really difficult for him to even get over at a mid-card level. I think Ricardo was a big part of the act, and he doesn't have the world title now, so it's going to be tough for him. I really think that at some point Del Rio and Ricardo should get back together, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But it certainly isn't looking good for Mr. Del Rio right now. Maybe he'll run over Santa again and turn babyface and have another great run in 2014. Who knows? All right, one more question here from Chris Mace 2013. Do you think The Undertaker plays politics to make sure that his undefeated streak at WrestleMania stays that way? I remember once hearing that they wanted Kane to win at WrestleMania 20, but he refused because he didn't want to be the one to end the streak. I never heard anything about that, and that sounds quite ridiculous that Undertaker would play politics. Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania is a huge moneymaker for WWE. It's something that they can market, and it's big business for them. Undertaker defending the streak is arguably more important than the world title matches at WrestleMania now, and it's been that way for at least a decade. So WWE has always wanted to keep the streak going for as long as possible, as long as Undertaker can keep wrestling, and I don't think that there's ever been any serious consideration of somebody ending the Undertaker streak. I had gotten another question here that if Paul Bearer hadn't passed away, would CM Punk have defeated Undertaker at WrestleMania this past year? And I don't think that it was ever the plan for CM Punk to defeat the Undertaker. I think that the only way the streak's ever going to end is if Undertaker goes in there at WrestleMania against somebody who's being groomed to be the next Steve Austin or the next Rock, and that's unlikely. But I could talk about this more in other videos, and I've talked about it like Undertaker and The Shield. They could always do something like that, but I think in all likelihood it's not going to end. As long as Undertaker can keep wrestling, I think that they're going to keep the streak going as long as they possibly can. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AV. Share this video on Facebook and Twitter. Keep voting in the NoDQ.com year-end awards. There are several polls up right now, including Superstar of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, and Finisher of the Year. And just keep spreading the word about No DQ&A video. And I will see you guys next time for more.